Mom's rig. Dale was, I think, probably one of the very first big role models for girls in those days. I mean, Mom started with Dad in 1944, did their first movie together called Cowboy and a Senorita. And they didn't know themselves how it was going to hit off. It was a brand new leading lady, and Dad had probably 10 leading ladies by then. And Dale came out, and I don't know what it was. There was just a real good chemistry between the two. You know, you can mix all of these different people, and finally you get a team up. You know, it's like Bogart and Hepburn, and and Ginger Rogers, and it's just those. You find matches that are made to happen, and she played a little Spanish girl in this movie, but she played a lead. And as it progressed down, and she was a big hit, and right off the bat, the letters started flying into the studio. We love Dale. Don't take Dale out. You know, we love Dale. And so the chemistry was there, and the audience knew it, and Dad and Mom both knew it too. So they thought this is going to work out great. Well, then the stories changed from her being a Spanish dancer ingenue to a lot of times she would play a nosy reporter, or she would play somebody that stuck her nose into something that most of the time shouldn't have done and got Dad into trouble or whatever, but she started carrying a gun. And so a leading lady in a Western movie in the 40s who rode a horse as good as any man and shot just as good as any man and wore a gun, I mean, that was unheard of in those days. But who better to do it than Dale, you know? And she just carried herself so well and worked so well in it. Well, it came time for the TV series to go. And they had this rig made for my mom, and instead of using a cowboy gun, it's a Smith & Wesson, kind of a police special that had pearl grips. It was a smaller gun. It was, you know, the Colt 45s don't fit a woman's hand all that well. When they made the little bird's beak ones, they worked fine. But for a woman, she couldn't handle the big guns. And if you saw her in a movie, she had to use two hands to hold it a lot of times. Well, they decided to put pearl handles on this police special, and I never used that in the TV series. Worked perfect because she could wear the gun kind of up front on her thigh instead of back like cowboys do, and it was always there for her. Well, she used it through the entire series. I mean, she just shot tons of blanks through it. And so that, you know, it's a Smith & Wesson, it's nickel plated, and it's Mom's gun belt. It's the only one she ever had. So nothing special about that. What's special behind it is the story of my dad and my brother and I. My dad loved to wrestle with us boys. He only had the two boys at home, Sandy, my brother Sandy and I. And when he would come home from work, he'd be dressed in his cowboy clothes. And we would wait for him, and we'd jump him in the mudroom when he came in. We'd be up on a washer dryer, you know, and say, there, you know, and here comes Roy, and we'd all jump on him. Well, we started wrestling, and he'd bat us around, and we would roll through the laundry room, and we rolled out, and we're, you know, shooting and, you know, hollering, and we had our cap guns and firing away, and my mom's in there trying to cook dinner in the kitchen, and we were in the way, we're out bouncing it against the table, and Mom had hollered, you know, boys, please, Roy, take the boys somewhere else. And we'd be quiet for a little minute, and then we'd start right back. And we just get like we were ignoring her completely. Well, we wrestled on in through the dining room, we wrestled into the living room, and we're in the living room, and my brother Sandy and I, he made a jump on Dad or something, I don't know what, but he rose up too quickly. He hit the coffee table at the end of one of the couches. The lamp teetered and went off and hit the ground. Made a big noise, and everything just stopped. And Dad's got this real guilty look on his face. He looks at me, he goes, you hear your mother? And I go, no. He said, well, let's keep going then. And we started wrestling some more. Well, we're wrestling away. We didn't really pay attention, but Mom had passed by us. Didn't say a word. Just went past by us. It's like, okay, fine. And then she went on back to the back bedroom. Now, she kept her gun back there because you didn't want the kids getting to it. So she had a special drawer. She locked it up in. So she gets out her gun, and there's a whole box of theatrical blanks that she kept in her gun belt loaded with. So she just takes out 6 of them and loads up this gun. She comes down to the end of the hall, and she just hollers out real loud, boys, and then she fired that gun off 6 times in the middle of the living room. Well, Needless to say, we stopped the wrestling at that point. And I think Sandy and we wet our pants. I think Dad found out that boots do hold 3 gallons of water because, I mean, we were not ready for that. And from then on, when Mom said, quit wrestling in the house or she'll get her gun, it was a laughing stock of the town, but I tell you, she would do it again in a minute. But that's the fun part about that particular gun. But, you know, it's a great piece, it really is.
Wildcat Kelly, looking mighty pale, was standing by the sheriff's side. And when that sheriff said, I'm taking you to jail, Wildcat raised his head and cried.